Good evening. I'd like to call the February 18th meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Could I get a roll call, please?
Melissa Mullins-Mischke.
Here.
Dwayne Hogan.
Here.
Glenn Minnick.
Here.
Earl Cunningham. Greg Zavala.
Here.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from January 21st.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none. Minutes pass. And let's start with our petitions for this evening. Again, is there anyone here represented by their counsel? Okay. So petition number 1, if you'd like to come forward and present your legal work to our attorney, is petition for variance of developmental standards for Williams Sales Seller and Thomas and Dana Cutts buyer for construction of a secondary structure 54 feet by 96 feet with a bathroom and a height of 29 feet instead of the maximum 18 feet. The venue will be in operation year-round for the property located at 4555 West Johnson Road, LaPorte, Indiana, Center Township, zoned R1B on 8 acres.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. If you would please state your name and address for the record.
Dana Coots, 6247 North Range Road, LaPorte.
Tom Coots, 6247 North Range Road, LaPorte.
I don't know if you need me here or not, but I'm here. Representing the seller. I'm
Okay.
Renee Sales, and 2886 North.
Speak into the mic for me, please.
I'm Renee Sales, 2886 North Palmer in LaPorte, and I'm here as a seller.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to start up the, I want to call it the Red Barn. That's not it. Again, why don't you tell us what your plans are?
We want to continue what Bill and Renee had started there as far as it being a wedding venue, wedding and events. The name will change. It's going to be called Circa 1856, but we'll be on the same property.
What was that name again?
Circa 1856. And our plan is to build a building so that it will be year-round, in addition to the seasonal facilities that are there. So that's what the construction part is.
What kind of hours of operation are you looking at?
It will be primarily on weekends, and we will allow like the bridal parties to have access starting at like 10 a.m. in the morning and being off the property by midnight. So, with their primarily most of the event will actually be taking place in the evening hours.
You hold other events besides weddings, though, correct?
We would, yes.
Good.
So 10 a.m. to midnight, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Right. Yes.
Okay, let's see if we have any remonstrators this evening for this petition, either for or against. Anybody here for petition number 1? Anybody? Hearing none. Do we have any further questions or comments from the board?
Comment. I'm happy to make a comment and thank you for investing in LaPorte County and trying to keep this venue going. I go by it several times a week and was very concerned. I appreciate the fact that you're stepping up, and with that I would make a motion that we approve the petition for the variance of developmental standards for William Sales Seller and Thomas and Dana Coots buyer for the construction of a second accessory building 54 feet by 96 feet with a bathroom and a height of 29 feet exceeding the maximum of 18. Property is located at 4555 West Johnson Road, LaPorte, Indiana. Center Township, zoned R1 on 8 acres. R1B, I'm sorry.
I'd be glad to make a second to that one. A lot of fun there.
Do we need to indicate hours of operation?
If you're putting any conditions on it, you would.
No,
There's no conditions.
Whatever they want to do.
I think we might as well, I mean, for the sake of They've asked for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
You could have a Wednesday event.
It is true that if we had multiple weddings in a weekend, there may be a need for like a rehearsal to be midweek.
Right.
So
Rehearsal dinners and stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't see any problem with
No.
So we would.
That's why no limitation, I didn't say.
weekly use.
Okay. So no limitation.
Do you think there should be any limitation on hours during the week, though, as far as the midnight hours, kind of late on a weekday?
You're not concerned they're going to disturb the neighbors, Katie Corner?
Now you think.
We haven't in the past.
No, I'm thinking future owners. It is a big neighborhood.
The other way. You had no problem with the midnight
It's good enough.
termination. I mean, if we just said a midnight termination, that's not an issue, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, let's just do that, add that to the original motion. Hour of operation will not exceed midnight.
Sounds good.
Should we consider signage?
They have signage now. You're not going to have any larger signage than you have at the existing time,
there's
correct?
a 4x8 lighted sign that's currently there.
We're not going to change that.
No, we can do it.
Very nice card, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Extremely nice.
Okay, so is everyone clear on the motion and the second on the table? Brad, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Are there any further questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck. Okay, petition number 2 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Richard Veldman for placement of a modular home at least 575 square feet instead of the required 1,000 square feet for an elderly parent. The property is located at 524 South, 525 East, LaPorte, Indiana, Pleasant Township, zoned ag on 12 acres. If you would present your legal work to our attorney, please.
Thought. When you drive by, it's just nothing out there. I mean, but when it's said for the elderly parent.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. If you would state your names and address for the record, please.
Richard Veldman, 524 South 525 East. Plus, I'm right next to the property's also right next to my 551 South 400 East.
And your name?
Jessica Logan, same address.
Okay. So, do you live at this property currently?
Right next door.
Okay, and you're there as a full-time resident next door?
Yes.
Okay. So, the elderly parent, you want them on their own separate parcel as opposed to one with you?
I had a house there before, and then I bought the piece of property next to me when they put it up for sale, so I'd have all 24 acres. And then I took my house down and just left the building there. And yeah, Carol needs a place to be, and we're going to provide it for her.
Was there a modular home there before or stick built?
Stick building.
The property is still very close to the one we reside in.
What kind of age are we looking at for the parent?
She'll be 77 this year. And she still wants her independence, so.
Sure.
Of course.
Have you picked out, or do you have no pictures of what you plan on putting up there? I'm guessing.
There's a building, yes, thank you, of one of the homes we're looking at, one she's considering. She is considering one that's a little bit bigger to have 2 bedrooms for her crafting and office type work, but she hasn't decided.
It's kind of like a park model, but I'm guessing it'll be set on a solid foundation.
Yes, yeah. We're getting the septic inspected after this meeting, and then we'll take the next step.
Do you want to say this wrong? Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 2? Anybody here that would like to speak for or against petition number 2?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion for the petition for variance of developmental standard for Richard Villman for a placement of a modular home at least 575 foot squared instead of the required 1,000 foot squared for an elderly parent. This property is located at 524 South, 525 East LaPorte in Pleasant, Zone A on 12 acres.
I have a motion and a second. Or do I have a second?
I'll make a second.
I apologize. Are there any questions or comments of the board?
No.
Okay. All those in favor of the petition say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Aye. Congratulations, you passed. Good luck. Make sure you see the building department for all your permits. Thank you. Okay, petition number 3 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Vanessa Piemonte buyer and Bingham Riceley estate seller for relocation of a manufactured home 80 feet by 16 feet to a parcel with 100 feet of road frontage instead of the minimum required 200 feet and a lot of 0.63 acres instead of the minimum required 1 acre. The property is located at 5776 West, 800 North in Michigan City, Springfield Township, zoned R1B on 0.63 acres. Do you have legal work for our attorney?
I just have the,
So your notice of publication, adjoining property owners, mailings.
Oils are all civil. I didn't see the posting on this one. There's a picture of it in our packet.
This was really area.
Notice is good.
Thank you. Would you state your name and address for the record, please? And I apologize if I...
the address I'm moving to.
Your current address.
Okay. Vanessa Piemonte. I'm at 800 Highway 212, Block J7, Michigan City, Indiana.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what you'd like to do this evening.
Well, so I'm at that lot, and my neighbors are kind of crazy, and they've been harassing me. So I have the money to move on to my own lot, and I wanted to just move it over to my own private lot. I don't need to be paying lot rent or being harassed by people. But I want to just clear that lot all out. And I've got a guy to take down the trees and bulldoze the area, clean it all up. And he also does septic and mounds and everything like that. So
is it a modular home
it's
or
actually
a
like
home?
It's manufactured, but it's actually extra long. Like it's 80 long. It's 1,200 square feet. And instead of being double wide, it's like double long. Most of them are 40 feet. This is 80. It's three bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. It's in really good condition. I do power washing, so I power wash it all the time. It's got a nice little brand new Amish shed to go with.
And how far away from the property lines are you going to be? I'm trying to orient this drawing.
I think it's 10 feet. They had me go put sticks where I'd put it, and it's 80, so I have 10 feet on each side away from the other property line, I believe.
I think this one.
This way.
Are you allowed to put fences there in the properties, or like if I put a nice white? Yeah, if I put a nice white fence on each side. Okay.
Anne Marie, I'm going to have to ask you to discuss that with her afterwards. And if you would please keep your comments to the board.
Okay.
So you're going to have the home is going to be long ways on the property.
I was going to do it so it's going to going across, so it just looks like the regular north.
Could be good.
So if it goes long ways,
Yes, go ahead and come on up.
if it goes the picture of the house.
Yeah, we do.
So I'll show you. So
Here.
if I put it, this is kind of a weird picture because
This is drawing.
okay. So if I put my house going this the street, like if I put this front end going long ways, it's only like not 23 wide, so
Okay.
it looks like the rest of the house is on the block, because if I put it going this way instead of like a trailer going that way, it would look more like a trailer going that way.
You'd see how narrow it is from the road, wouldn't you?
You can't see.
I say you would. If you turn it the other way, it would look narrow from the road.
Yeah, and then and now if you put it this way, it looks like just
When you put it the length like you want to put it, how many feet do you have from each property line?
So if I do it like that, then if you went 10 feet on each side.
Podium for me.
Yeah. You didn't ask for that variance, and she need a variance if she did it that way.
There's what?
There's no petition for it.
Wait, I have something here that says petition. Petition right here I have.
So the problem is that if you decided you wanted to put it 80 feet wide, you only have a 100-foot lot, that's 10 feet on each side, you need a variance to do that, and you did not ask for that.
Well,
So your neighbors wouldn't know to come in and...
so what do I do? Just put it long ways then? Wouldn't they prefer it to be?
They may, but what the board's telling you is that if you want to put it long ways, you'd have to amend the petition that's before them, because the notice wasn't for variation of the developmental standards of setbacks. It was just on the front footage.
So what am I?
We got to hear you on the mic for the record.
I need a separate variance, or do I have to put the house long ways?
I don't think any of us would prefer that you put the house long ways. I think we would.
It looks better going.
She's zoned R1B, and that is 10 feet. R1A is 15 feet. So she's okay. Also, it's a lot of record, so she doesn't get variance for the land.
That's what I thought.
Right.
Very good, thank you. You're fired.
My only question is, are we going to have any trouble? I mean... This is acting extra loud today. I mean, is this home able to be secured like a modular home? I mean, that's the only real
I'd have
issue.
to put a slab and a 3-foot crawl space.
I mean, well, not every home is built for a solid foundation. I mean, a mobile home...
I think our issue is with the variance and the construction is going to be left to the building department during their inspection phase and permitting.
Just so you're aware that you actually have a manufactured home that has a internal structure that allows it to be fastened directly to a foundation. If it's a mobile home, it won't work.
No, it's a manufactured. It's not mobile. I don't have they're going to have to use a semi and put like whatever they need to put to it to move it.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 3?
That's another question for our attorney. In light of the fact that she had to notify her adjoining neighbors for any variance, correct?
Correct.
So they're not here at all. I mean, she's still within the code, as Anne-Marie said, but the fact that they're not here at all, I think, gives me a little more comfort in.
Yeah, I knew the guy that lived right next to me. Came out and said hi. He knew me. I didn't know that I knew him, but he came out and we talked.
So are there any remonstrators for petition number 3, either for if I could get you to sit down while we hear from them?
Yeah, I mean...
If you'd like to come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Stanley Canola. My address is 5773 West 800 North, Michigan City, Indiana.
My name is Carol Wingard. I am directly across the street at 5775 West, 800 North, Michigan City, Indiana.
I also own the adjacent property to it too, the 5752.
If I could get you to lean into that mic just a little bit so we
I
can
also
hear.
own the adjacent property next to it too, the
Okay.
5752 West 800 North.
Okay. And what are your concerns?
Well, my concerns are that the lot's it's not big enough. The whole back half of it is considered like if you look, it's the Northwest Indiana wetlands. It's swamp back there. There's nothing, you can't build, and that's about a good 50 to 75 feet of the back of that property. And I know that because the property that is adjacent to it is mine, and it's the same way. It's wetland. So there's really no. The lot's just not large enough for the manufactured home she's trying to put in there. I mean, with the manufactured home, and then you figure the mound system, and the property's just not. I just have concerns. It's just not big enough for everything to fit like it should. That's my biggest worry. I think it's gonna.
And what about you, ma'am?
Okay, well, one of the fears is, yes, as much as she says it's a manufactured home, to me it looks like a trailer. It's a 16 by 80 trailer. We've had several of those in the neighborhood, and it's never went well. We have a garage now across the street from us that had a trailer on it, and they had to remove the trailer, and now the garage sits there, and it's not a sellable building. So, and then the property that she's moving it onto was, the house was vacated probably 8 years ago and then left standing alone, to the point of where I was making a phone call every month to get something done about the house. I was in the process of trying to sell mine, and it took them like 6 years to ever knock down the house. And then even after they knocked it down, nobody is taking care of anything. It's just recently been put on the market. We've had 7 houses in the neighborhood go into foreclosure. I'm a 30-year. Well, actually, I've lived there all my life. I moved away for 5 years. And I'm just concerned about the value of the neighborhood, and I guess what every typical American's worried about. This is where I lived, and this is my life. It's where I'm hoping to retire.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any additional remonstrators? If you'd like to come back up to the podium, please. What kind of questions do we have from the board?
My first question would be for our attorney. If we approve this, it still has to go through the building department as far as the septic system and all that. It has no bearing on our decision.
I think that
Correct.
Long ways, like going across, it leaves a lot of space for the front and back, so I'm not taking up all that wet, like, and keeping it like 20-something feet before any of that wet starts. It's
her
pretty
department
far.
will make that decision whether or not.
There are a lot of wetlands around it, but her lot is okay.
Yeah, there's, as long as I go long ways like that, it leaves a lot of space from the front to the back.
I see people in the back, the remonstrators. So what everybody's saying, what he's saying is that if we approve it because it physically works, that doesn't mean that it goes in, because when she goes to the health department, if they deny her a septic for that home, it can't be put there, okay? So it's just our place to decide whether it fits in the neighborhood.
The developmental standard.
Developmental standard.
And it is a manufactured home. It's 80 feet long, and it's not a trailer. You can't pull it with your car or truck.
Further questions or comment? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I will make a motion, but I would like to say that I wonder if this is where our attorney. So, I mean, the only thing that, what are we actually making the motion for? I mean, it fits in the constraints. Are we just going to make a motion because of its size being 80 by 16?
It's manufactured.
It meets the square footage requirements, actually. It just doesn't make...
It has to be 23 by 41. Right.
But mine's extra long instead of extra wide.
Okay, so I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion that the petition for developmental standards for Vanessa Pete
Lamonte,
buyer, and Brigham Risley Estate, a seller, for relocation of a manufactured home, 80 by 16, to a parcel with a width of 100 feet of road frontage instead of the minimum required 200 feet. It being a lot of record. The property is located at 5776 West, 800 North, Michigan City, Indiana, Springfield Township. I make a motion that this petition be granted.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Again, any further clarifications or questions to the board? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Aye. Two of us.
Yes.
So your motion passes.
Okay, thank you. So I just find out what the building.
You're going to talk with the building department and the building commissioner. So petition number 4 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Robert Stevens for construction of a pole barn 36 feet by 56 feet to the side of the home instead of the rear, with a height of 22 feet instead of the maximum allowed 18 feet, and water for a sink and washing vehicles for the property located at 1012 East Hamilton Street, Union Mills, Noble Township, zoned R1B.
Nice size.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I don't think you can get much more in there, Dwayne. Maybe. It's pretty tight though. Enjoy your meals. It was pretty tight. I don't know where that septic system's going to go, but I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I know.
That is not our...
Nope. I'd sure have the old one checked in before you broke ground. Yeah, I would. The neighbors aren't going to be mad that they're going to break the side.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you.
This is the...
Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Robert Stevens, 1012 East Hamilton Street, Union Mills, Indiana.
Go ahead, John.
First of all, it's the right size. I think it fits pretty good. I mean, that size.
Yeah, they never say go smaller.
Go smaller. Don't go smaller.
All right. This is a giant building. What are you going to put in there?
I've got a boat, a four-wheeler, snowmobile. I like to do woodworking, and maybe one day build an old car.
Okay. 22 feet. Are you putting a hoist in there?
Yes, eventually down the road.
The 22 feet?
Mm-hmm. I'd like to go 14-foot ceilings.
Okay.
So I'm not sure the height of the truss. That's why I asked for the extra height.
16.6, I think.
Right.
Well, you should have built it.
Yeah, we'd have to ask for it. So the exterior of the building, is that going to be similar to the home exterior?
Yes.
Or is it going to be a metal building?
It's going to be a metal building, metal siding. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the same color to match. So eventually I may have to redo the house to match the pole barn.
Well, how close do you think we could come to matching the house? Make it look nice.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I just not sure if I'll be able to match it.
It still has to be aesthetically nice to fit in the neighborhood and everything, so it doesn't stand out. It's going to stand out as it is, but...
Right.
Yeah, just because it's giant.
It's a good size.
I would normally agree with that, but the neighboring lot, I do believe, has a white metal shed.
I agree.
On it. So I'm kind of
Their
hard
white metal
pressed
shed
to...
also isn't 36 by 56.
I guess we don't want to...
That's their loss.
Right. Okay, do I have any remonstrators?
I have a question real quick. Talking about washing cars, you're not planning on washing cars commercially?
No.
I think that we need to put that as a restriction.
It won't be a business.
No.
Right. Okay.
Do I have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 4? Either for or against? Any remonstrators? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion from the board if there are no further questions or comments.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make the motion then. Petition for a variance of developmental standard for Robert Stevens for construction of a pole barn 36 feet by 56 feet, nice size, to the side of his house instead of the rear, with a height of 22 feet instead of the maximum allowed of 8 feet. This is located at 1012 East Hamilton Street, Union Mills. It's Noble, and it's for personal use only.
Very good.
Do you think we could put what Melissa talked about and have it aesthetically?
Yeah, I should add that too.
Match the
Have as close as you can do, make it aesthetically match it and make it look nice.
Okay.
A lot nicer. You want to do that anyway.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
With,
the motion is for water.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, if there are no further questions or comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none. Good luck.
Good luck. Nice
Thank
one.
you. All right. Petition number 5 was withdrawn, and I should have mentioned that earlier. Petition number 6 is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Brett and Aaron Davis for construction of a second accessory structure 30 feet by 60 feet being placed to the side and front of the home for residential use. The property located at 10707 South 300 West, Union Mills, Noble Township, zoned ag on 3 acres.
Yeah.
So,
this is still good. It's a good size for here. You know, fit in good. See? That's from the road. Yeah.
Not emergent.
Because this is.
Sometimes they have a white, what paper was it? Resident paper.
This is true pole barn style. What he's doing.
Anne Marie, do you have publication on this?
What's that? That's this.
Not for this one.
Nope. Mike.
Not for this one.
Hold on.
So we do have proof of mailing. We don't have proof of publication. He's saying it was published in the newspaper. You could proceed contingent on that. Proof of publication later being submitted, but...
We usually cut them out when we see them, but we must have come across it.
They don't even know what paper they published it in.
Yeah, he's not even sure the only thing we've got in here, Westfield Indicator, is probably what you give him as part of the packet.
Oh, okay. Did you put it in the Westville Indicator, or?
Well, my wife came up. I had her come up and grab the paper that we had to mail and to put into the newspaper, so it was done online. So she had to do it online. I guess she had to do it online. So
can we get a mic on?
That's the most common one right now because it's the cheapest. I mean, most of the people are doing the Westville Indicator.
What is the thought of the rest of the board? I'm inclined to hear the petition. Contingent
I'm inclined to contingent proof of positive placement.
Proof of publication.
Only granted upon.
Yeah,
right.
Proof, yeah.
So if you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Brian Gaddis, 213 West Bench Street, New Carlisle.
And your name?
Brett Davis, 10707 South 300 West, Union Mills.
And before I get, are you sure that's going to be big enough pole barn?
I mean, the guy right in front of you.
Yeah, all the time.
Is what I've been waiting for about 20 years, so I think it's going to be big enough. Just like the last guy, don't go too small.
Okay, are we using it for storage?
Basically, winter storage for the wife and daughter's vehicle. I've got a boat and a couple motorcycles. Just something I can hang out with my dog in the wintertime, too.
And there's not going to be water in the building?
Correct.
Electric?
Electric, yes.
And you understand that any if we approve your petition this evening, it won't be really approved until we have proof of publication.
Understood.
Did you pull a building permit for this work already so far?
Yes. Well, it's in process, I believe, right?
It hasn't been issued yet until this is approved.
Okay. So you started construction before the permit was completed?
We did. So yeah.
When did you start construction on this?
So I started the day of. Me and the guys went out there and got started with it, and then I went to go get the permit, and then they said I needed the variance because it's 17 feet and it's supposed to be 30, I believe, because of the zone that it's in. So we stopped work that day and waited until now.
I think it's just because it's on the
side.
But I think it is 30.
I have to look at this now.
While you guys are checking that out, are there any remonstrators for petition number 6? Any remonstrators, either for or against?
I don't think there's a problem with the side yard, right?
No.
It's 30 feet from the side yard.
It's just, that would be the north side.
Right.
Yeah.
There's 30 feet between them.
Well, no, it would be 17.
Whatever, 17 or 18 feet from the field.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah, it's 17.8 on the drawing.
Right.
Who cares? Needs another variance.
Is it, I think it's residential use. So I said, fine.
I wasn't listening.
Is that correct, Anne Marie?
For what?
He said he needs another variance for the 30 feet setback, but I thought it was residential use. So it would be fine.
If it's for residential use, we use the residential setbacks.
Even in ag.
Yes.
So the setback
10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
15 feet of post, and he's got 17.
It's ag on 3 acres.
I'm not sure we should be doing that all
I
the
don't
time.
have anything in front of me.
He's 17.
I don't either. I think it should be an ag setback.
Yeah, 17 feet to the side, he'd be fine. With it being residential use.
What was the ag setback again?
30.
That's 30.
Yeah.
Well, we really need to be consistent with that, and when there's
Well,
a
it's
farm
conflicting
field there.
because if you're zoned residential, and you have 5 acres and you want to put up a pole barn and it's for ag use, you have to use the ag setbacks. He's an ag, but it's a residential. He's going to use it for residential use.
So it's 10.
I've gone over this with Doug already before.
He's not going to be storing anhydrous ammonia or anything like that in
that.
a building like you might be on a farm situation.
It's to protect it's to protect the owner as much as it is to protect the neighbor, though, because I mean there's going to be anhydrous being applied to the field next to it, and so if you keep moving, things closer and closer to that agricultural use, there could be problems in the future.
I think, could we maybe put that as an item after
Yes, absolutely.
discuss after the meeting or after the petitions? So I have heard no remonstrators. We have a question, so I will entertain a motion.
When do you anticipate issuing the building permit? After the motion's done?
And as proof of
Yeah, he can come up
publication.
tomorrow.
Okay.
As proof of publication.
Well, yes, we need that first.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make the motion then for petition number 6 for a variance of the Villamole standard for Brett and Aaron Davis for construction of a secondary accessory home, or structure, 36 by 60, with a side setback of the home of the residential use. This property is located at 10707 South, 300 West. That's in Union Mills and Noble. All predicated on you producing the right documentation and getting your right permits pulled for it for the building.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. If there are no further questions or comments, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, your motion passed contingent on
Good luck,
your
guys.
proof of publication.
Thank you very
Thank you. All right, petition number 7 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Daryl Tate and Jean O'Connor for construction of a home and barn with 30 feet of road frontage instead of the minimum required 200 feet. The property entrance is located between 7889 and 7855 West, 350 South, LaPorte, New Durham Township, Zone Ag, on 3.04 acres.
This one. This has to have a lost plat. It has to have a lost plat. This had to have been subdivided. You know, the dark years.
What did...
Yes.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. Your name and address for the record, please?
It's Darrell Tate, and my address is 3331 West, 1350 South, Hannah.
So are you going to live at this location?
Yes.
And I really appreciate this fabulous drawing that you provided. Good job. Very nice. So I don't know if you know this, I really do not like these parcels with this little tiny road frontage and then it opens up.
Right.
So I know you're going to build behind
Yes.
the row of existing homes.
Yes.
Trying to think of the question, how to word the question I'm asking here.
Gene O'Connor. These lots.
So they're buying one.
They're looking to buy
What is the minimum for a fire truck or emergency vehicle to turn around?
Well, we can do it in like 12 feet if you have to. I mean, but preferably.
Yeah, that's my only issue is a safety one so that we can get equipment back there.
Right.
You mean this right here?
$39,000 the first time.
What is this distance?
This lot sold for $27,000. I know it's been owned.
Is the purchase of the lot, have you already purchased the lot or is it contingent on this?
It's contingent on kind of what our outcome is and also the septic and things like that.
Oh, septic water.
I think it got lost.
Yes.
So you said that actually the drive back was only 30 foot
Width, yes.
width.
Yes.
Obviously, that drive's been used for the fields, but
No, the field.
So to go with my
Consistent, you're running.
rest of my comment about safety is, should we approve your petition, please make sure you get a sign posted with your address, whether it's the township and you have a big reflective one. Just make sure that emergency services are able to get to you.
I have a question.
Please.
So, have you looked at the title of this property? I mean, what does it say about your access?
Well, I haven't seen the title, and I do know it was a little bit misleading that it was a building site, and I think we were far from that, actually. I mean, I think at one time it was intended to be that, but I don't think they took in consideration of the variance. Or maybe they did, I don't know.
Well, it's a physical parcel along the road frontage, so it's not...
Right. I think it was planned for that all along, but...
I think it was planned all along also because,
yes.
I mean, if you look at Beacon and you look up the history of these two lots,
right.
One of the lots previously sold for $39,000.
Right.
And the other lot previously sold for $28,000. And they've been in ownership of multiple people.
Right.
Which lots are you talking? The ones in question?
Yes.
They've been sold before, and then they didn't do anything with it.
Right. Correct.
Yes. Well, so if they've gone through personal finance or banking or 3 ownerships, this had to have been platted at one time.
Right.
They would have got a loan or anything.
There's no way it would have.
Well, it should have been a subdivision, though, a minor or something like that.
Right.
Yes.
Not just split off.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure that actually has any bearing on our vote, though.
Well, it
doesn't.
Kind of does when you look at the.
No, I don't. My opinion is no.
Okay.
Brad?
It could go into the justification for granting a variance. When the hardship was created, they bought into the hardship.
That's good stuff.
That's a good name.
Good job, Brad. You're hired again.
I just thought the board, if they hadn't looked it up online, should know that.
Yeah, it's 2.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 7? Any remonstrators, either for or against?
Yeah, they stuck back in it.
Yeah. You guys are in trouble. Decent. Okay. If I don't hear any remonstrators, if there are any further questions or comments of the board, I will entertain a motion.
Be happy to move that we approve the petition for the variance of developmental standards for Daryl Tate Buyer and Gene O'Connor Seller for the construction of a home and barn within 30 feet, with 30 feet of road frontage instead of the minimum required 200 feet. Property entrance is located between 7889 and 7855 West, 350 South, LaPorte, Indiana, New Durham Township Zone, Ag on 3.04 acres.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns of the board?
So my only concern is that we would never do this if we didn't think that it was,
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, just because I don't want to make a precedent so that we're ever going to allow
Do flags.
30 feet of entrance on these lots.
And I don't think we need to include no further subdivision.
Right.
Not an issue. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Aye. The motion carries.
Standard flag.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any new business in front of the board this evening?
No.
No new business?
Anything from council?
Brad, do you have anything for the board?
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.